Oh man. So I just finished watching this video that BGS did about the woman from Southside Chicago living in Ghana. And I couldn't stop commenting on that video. Ed has been talking about that video over and over and over again. And I was just interested, and I was like, all right, cool, let me find this video. I thought it was on his Patreon, but he had it on his Black Pill Gnostic channel, which I don't know why I didn't get I don't have it in my feed or whatever, but that's on me, of course. And it's crazy. The thing I wanted to point out, because there's so many things in that video, I left so many comments under it, like, I'm baffled, because you don't, like, a lot of people don't see until you, I remember when I moved out of Florida for the first time, or stayed out of Florida for a long period of time for the first time, and I was in Missouri, right, and I went to school in Missouri. I went to a school called Missouri Valley College, Go Vikings, and I played, football there for like 2 years, and you start to notice how, like, if somebody comes up and is nice to you in Florida, they just want something from you. Dude comes up to girl, or random person comes up to you and starts talking to you, like, most likely somebody doing sales. Even like a woman coming up to, like, so it makes you very guarded, like, it makes you very guarded, because they want something out of you, like, and that's that's usually the case anyway, but you feel it's like a different, it's like I want to say it's like a different feeling, but people in metropolitan areas know and understand what it's like for people to walk down the street and not look you in the eye and say hi. And, like, just be, like, that's normal. Like, you can tell people that are out of town or from out of town around here, or not, maybe they're visiting or what have you, whatever it is. Because you can start to see how they interact with you. Just by walking in the aisle, like, not that you have to say hi, but it's normal. So I'm watching this woman talk, and it hit me, and BGS said it at like the hour 2 minute mark, but it hit me like right before that. I was like, this bitch is white, and she doesn't even know it. In the space we've talked about, you have to defeat that racist in your head, that little white man in your head, before you can, deal with, external racism or racism in your environment and stuff like that. Because so many of us, they don't understand the programming, the level of programming that's in us. And if you were to tell this woman that, hey, listen, you're programmed, and if I showed you what you're doing and how fucked up or how messed up it is, you still wouldn't believe it, because you would just believe that you're right, because that's what you've been, quote unquote, programmed to feel and think. So I watched her and I was like, yo, this is a white chick. She doesn't understand. She wants to colonize these people. She's looking at these people, other black people, as dumb, as illiterate, as less than. Like, she wants to start off her own little enclave of black people, and you could even say that you can even attach this to, like, Jewish people in a sense. And I've dealt with quite a few Jewish people, and I've never seen them outwardly like this, but you never know what happens behind closed doors. But you can see the difference between a Jewish community and then, like, say, a quote-unquote regular white community, right? Air quotes, regular white community. Because there's a different level in communication, different level of community. There's a different level of, how problems are handled, problem solving, how they handle tasks. Not just problems, but, like, how they deal with certain tasks that they have to complete, so on and so forth. Whereas, you have this woman, she's talking about it, and she's like, black people don't want it. And what BGS pointed out was great. She wasn't really saying black people, she's really saying black men. Black men don't want to do X, Y, and Z. Black men don't, like, she's saying these things because she expects black men to do this stuff. And, just the biggest thing for me was that last part where she doesn't understand how white she is, how entitled she is. Because she was talking about the entitlement of the people there. And I watched this over like 2 days, and I finally finished it a moment ago. She was talking about the entitlement. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just getting like messages. She was talking about the entitlement of the people and how, I'm like, yo, they're in their land. Like, you're the new person. You new to this. I'm true to this. Like, And the way that, you know, she was acting and getting all rowdy, like somebody, like she's used to, and she said it, she's used to, if I can get up in a black man's face. And I'm like, yo, you don't even know how toxic you are. Like, that's why your dude left, took your kid, and that was it. You could try that whole kidnapping stuff all you want, but I'm heading back on a plane like tomorrow or what have you. And my son is straight, because that's what she's like, she's over in Ghana because her son is there. And she thinks that she can get, like, it's crazy when somebody flips the table on somebody and they feel helpless. You know, and you see the reaction, that's the crazy part. Like, you could see the reaction in her and how she was like, this is not fair. And I'm like, so you being able to do this to the man is fair? Anyways, I wanted to point that out. I made so many comments under that video and kind of like just not went off, but it was just like, oh my God, this is what it's like when you're a fish out of water, so to speak, right? Like, for instance, for all we know as human beings, right, we could be living in, or this is like a little bit abstract, really out there, I should say. But for all we know, as human beings, the air we breathe, the water we drink especially, could be considered some precious resource on another planet called like dark matter or something like that, you know? Like, we'll just use dark matter. And dark matter has a different definition, I believe. But dark matter, or I think it's like nth metal in Batman or something like that. But some special resource that we, quote unquote, not just take for granted, but it's just a part of our environment, right? Like, we don't take it for granted per se, but some of us, I mean, you know, actually a lot of us, yeah, I guess you could say we do, especially in first world countries. But a precious resource of some other planet that would fuel that, like a drop of it would fuel the planet for decades and eons to come and stuff like that. But we live in it like, oh, okay, yeah, like, you know, you mean I could piss in this cup and it'll fuel it'll fuel your society for eons? Like, that's how we treat it. And then, you know, you see what it's like outside of that. So she, you know, she's in this stuff, and I'm like, holy, like she's that fish out of water. She's that former, oh man, how would you say it? That being of this society, a former member of this society, that would take this stuff for granted and go to someplace else and not understand why she can't drink a full cup of water. Like, because that resource is just so important. You know, you can't just drink that. Listening to the book Red Rising, you know, how people in the Outer Rim, how they cherished water, recycled water, much like the Fremen in Dune, which will probably be a little bit more well known. But like the Fremen in Dune, how they treated water as such a precious resource that they hoarded it, you know, and then they hoarded and conserved it. You know, you could even spit. You know, if you spit on a person, that is like, you know, yeah, if you spit on a person, that is a challenge, and depending on like what you're doing it for. But if you spit on a person, that's a challenge. And if you cry for a person, that's a term of like serious endearment. Like, why would you cry for me? You know? And it's just, it's wild, man. It's wild seeing it. And then how she's just like, she's freaking out. She's losing it. And the way she was talking, I was like, yo, you think these people don't have internet and won't come see about you? Or people here won't see it and then go send it to their friend over there and think, do you know this person? Like, these communities, and these communities are the communities in this country, on those countries, are small and somewhat tight-knit. A lot of this stuff is still rumor mill. So people here can get in contact with people there, and that lady will be, hey, listen, man, all I gotta say is she need to call it a day on her kid for the sake of her own life, and she need to move back, or she's not gonna make it. Bro, I'm dead serious. Like, for a woman to talk like that and just talk out, I'm telling you, you can tell she's just a mad, toxic, rude, angry black person. Like, it's just like, she's just, actually, black woman. You know, she's just, it was just disgusting how she was acting, man. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Because that was just wild to see that. That was really wild to see that. But I am glad I watched it finally and got that going. Hey guys, as always, love you all. Understand the environment that you're in. Adapt. Last thing, I'm in a rural area, moving from a large city, so I understand what she's going through to a certain extent. Like, I was talking to a lady that cleaned my house yesterday, and she did a good job. I didn't pay for the full service or anything like that, but she did well enough. I think she got a lot of pieces that I didn't, that I wasn't, cleaning, so that was good. But I talked to her about, like, hey, listen, I said, hey, listen, it's crazy. I have to beg people to take my money around here. And she was like, yeah. And she's moving from California, lived in Beverly Hills and all that other stuff, And she was talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, exactly. I felt the same way, XYZ. It's wild. But as a man, I see it as an opportunity. I talked to her about investing in businesses around here and, growing. I talked a little, kind of poked a little bit. Hey, what about you growing your own business and how is that going and where they came from? She's like, yeah, our cleaning company in California had like 45 people or employees and all this other stuff. I was like, all right, that's what's up. She drives she told me drives a BMW, which little does she know, like I could see that from Google Maps. So. And a lot of people put their home address on the thing, so it's easy to find it and look at Google Street View. A lot of people don't see how easy it is to get that information. But it was that was wild to me, man. That was wild to me, and it was wild to me here when I moved here. But I saw it also, and BGS pointed this out. A lot of men would see it as an opportunity, while women would see it as an actual burden or an issue. And I totally agree. Like, I see a lot of stuff here as an opportunity. In fact, I see it's such a big opportunity. And I'm gonna start to talk to Freeman Journal about this. Actually, I'll probably see if I could do a stream with him. Probably make this a weekend of streams. But talk to him more about building up an actual property, real estate portfolio here, because there's a lot of homes under 250K that are actually move-in ready, decent, already flipped by other people. So I can just move in or I can just buy the property, and if I can maintain income for a good period of time, pay it off in less than 2 years, and then just live off the rent after thereafter. So you'll be surprised. Anyways, with that being said, I'm really going to say bye this time. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Love you guys all.